kill we and break way. Them not realize it's the same fight that build way. I don't need friends, though I'll be lonely. And all I need is shine my own space. Oh Lord, I'm running, 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 running away. I'm running, running from bad mind and jealousy. Oh Lord, I'm running, 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 running away. I'm running, running, running so far away, so far away. I wanna be alone. My heart is aching me. I wanna be alone. Bad mind, I'm begging, please. I wanna be alone. I'm fighting on my knees. Fighting on my knees. All alone, all alone, 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 alone. All alone, all alone. I wanna be alone. All alone, all alone, 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 alone. All alone, all alone. I wanna be alone. I can't sleep at night. Oh, I can't sleep. Problems won't leave my life. Get away from me. They want to kill my vibes.
Welcome again. We continue the program with Galaxy Equalizers. Today we have our brother with us, Kennedy Budlal KB, and we have Master Carl. Both of us on this program, and we are Galaxy Equalizers. We are operating from Studio Galaxy 473 in Confero. It's a regular Saturday program. We have two, and this is the latter part of it. And this morning we're going to continue on a topic: what do you expect from politicians? But we zero in on political leaders, the seasoned political leaders, the warriors, whether they are active and non-active. For instance, you had Portia Simpson in Jamaica, who was a prime minister of Jamaica, no longer running for election. What do you expect from her? What do you expect from Tillman Thomas? Tillman Thomas, an ex-prime minister. I don't think I don't know to what level of involvement he have at the helm. What do you expect from a man like Kenny Larson? He was a politician. What do you expect from senior leadership like Dr. Mitchell or any other senior leadership? Because we are saying that because we believe to whom much is given, much is expected. So perhaps we may expect more from the sayings of somebody than somebody that just come into politics. Our own seasoned person, Tevin Anjo, Andy, these individuals who just come in politics. And the question is, what do we expect? We have a democratic process here. And what you say in politics, as my brother always say, perception sometimes is reality. So there might be an issue at hand. What do you expect? Sometimes you want to hear the voice of certain people. If you have an economic issue, I want to hear what them big McCoy, those McCoy who say them is managers and accountants and etc. You want to know what is their position on this economic issue that facing this country. And in the same way, when you have a political issue, you want to listen to the comment of the political sides. What do you expect? Welcome, Brother Kennedy.
Thank you, Brother Pierre. And I want to tell you that my wife listens to your program religiously. Even when I don't listen to it in the day when I get home in the night, she said, KB, I listen to Mr. Pierre. And he has so much humor. Sometimes she calls her friends in the United States and asks them, did you listen to Mr. Pierre? And they discuss it. Our friends from Park, they discuss it, and they overflow with joy. They really love listening to your program. You're so forceful, you articulate well, and the point is that they said Mr. Ferros invite comments, invite people to who agree with him, who disagree with him. He gave them a free chance to ventilate. And I agree with you, Mr. Pay. It seems as though that topic have no end. I agree with you. Senior politician in this country, we want to know their position, especially when there is a crisis. We expect them to give advice that will benefit everybody. Sometimes we listen to one of our key politicians who always make comment, on controversial issues, Brother Tillman Thomas. I'm glad you mentioned his name. One time, Brother Tillman Thomas very, very hard on the New National Party with the selling of passport is concerned. And we take him, we say, this man always take the moral high ground. And we thought he should be consistent. If it was bad under the New National Party, he should be man enough to say it is bad under the National Democratic Congress. But it seems as though, he see the only negative part of it under the New National Party. And that is where young people comes in. They look at the leadership, the senior leadership of this country for guidance. And when we fail them and they lose hope, maybe that's why the pan's falling. They lost hope and trust in the leadership of this country, on not only the political leadership, the business community, the religious community, the farmers, the teachers, everybody must be a leader in their own right and must stand up for truth and for justice. Even the court, we expect the magistrate, the police, and the judge, they must always appear to be fair. And people must have confidence in the system and feel they should get redress in the court. And once they have confidence in the court, have confidence in the institution, confidence in the government, confidence in your leaders, we're on the right track. That is why I agree, Mr. Pierre. Leaders must lead by example. I was lying on my bed last night and I was thinking, mind reflect on Sir Eric Matthew Geary. When, for some reason, he employs someone to be a grievance officer in St. Andrews, and I asked myself, why Eric Matthew Geary? How he saw that wisdom in having a grievance officer. And other political party never saw that, had that wisdom, that understanding the reason for a grievance officer. The grievance officer will solve so much problem, avoid conflict, things that don't reach your parliament representative or the political leader. You will go to that grievance officer and give your views, your grievance, your problem. You can take it to the higher level and avoid conflict, avoid confusion, set it amicable. It's so important. I wonder why I say any government I have any influence in or advice, I will say follow Uncle Gary and appoint a grievance officer in every parish. People who don't want to go to the parliamentary representative to talk their business, they'll be feel comfortable to go into that grievance officer. And you can solve a lot of problems. Prevent them from going in public. Because if you don't wash your dirty linen in private, you're going in public.
Master Colley, they have the ombudsman within the public service, per se.
Yeah.
That is something, from the political point, Gary appoint a grievance officer. And that individual had some level of respect.
Yeah.
You command respect on both sides.
Yep.
Even from the old GNP or whatever, he commanded respect. So he wasn't seen as a pure straight guerrilla, or other. And within the public service, we have the ombudsman. What do we expect? When we look at the topic, sometimes that is what's shrinking your democracy. You leaders, the utterances of your leaders on controversial issues, whether it is political controversial issues, strong economic issues in the country. We had COVID-19 that perhaps rock individuals' morality and legality. What do we expect from leaders, Master God? I think that have to be significant.
Just before I think you should give her the numbers for
Yes. 410-3030. Number to call is 410-3030. But we'll do everything possible to read also your WhatsApp message. And we want to encourage you to share with program. We are the new kid on the block. And we want to provoke discussion. No topic we fear. We fear no topic. And we will discuss all issues. We want to make certain that we crowd it with some level of truth. But yeah. Yes, Master.
we dealing on expectations again, Mr. Pierre. And like we say, it's a topic. It might be infinite, can't finish. Because once in a democracy, person has different points of view, and no one point of view should be trivialized as it comes to expectation. However, I think I just want to bring up a discussion this morning, Mr. Pierre, as we style ourselves the equalizers, and no topic is out of our league, as to speak. Now, in recent times, the narrative is out from persons who are not necessarily supporters or well-wishers of the NNP. And utterances have been made about the political leader of the new national party. In so much as persons are singing Mash It Up, and persons are of the view that the political leader wants to mash up the NNP. I don't believe that for 1 second. Now, my thing is about it, Mr. P. Dr. Mitchell. I still don't believe, KB and Mr. P, that you have any person within the NNP who love the party as Dr. Mitchell. And the narrative being pushed, and some NNP persons are concerned, Mr. P, and asking or repeating the utterances. What's your take on that, KB?
Right, Mr. Pierre, Mr. Carr. The strength of a leader.
KB, speak up.
The strength of a leader
Yes,
will really
you're
come
right.
from the amount of wealth he has, the amount of power, but how he governs. That is important. And I follow Dr. Mitchell over the years, right? And I would say Dr. Mitchell, how some people perceive Dr. Mitchell to be, especially his political opponent, and even some people within the New National Party, give the impression that Dr. Mitchell is made of brick, stone, iron, and is a selfish person. I beg to differ. He's human like anybody else. And you look at Sir Eric Matthew Geary. He was blind, but he still hold on to power. You look at Sir Howard Blaze. Walk with stick, almost falling down, he hold on to power. Although he lost the majority in Parliament, he still hold on to power. Look at Tillman Thomas. Lost the majority in Parliament, he still hold on to power. Some people feel Dr. Mitchell, after 20 or 30 years in politics, he should be politician today and a civilian tomorrow. I mean, we have to be fair to him. That transition is a difficult transition to make. It will take time. He would not bow and give up power easily. This is what we have to understand. Yes, we may disagree with his strategy going forward, but at least we must understand his position, understand these leaders, And I agree with you. I don't believe at no time at all Dr. Mitchell will kick down the bucket, the pot of food, or bad down the wicket. I feel good sense will prevail. And he loved NNP so much, I don't believe he'll do it. I remember one day I and Andrew Donald visit him when he was Prime Minister. And I said to him, Doc, are you prepared to go to the cemetery with the new National Party? I saw Sir Eric Matthew go to the cemetery with the GLP. And he said, no, KB, you're crazy. History will be unkind to me. I preparing my life out of politics. I'm getting ready to prepare my life out of politics. I visited him 3 times after his loss. And I said, ask him again. I said, Doc, are you going back? He said, no, KB. I already discussed with the family. I'm not going back. I said, well, you say you're not going back. When we look around, the only person I see is Peter. I say, KB, let me tell you something. In my opinion, he don't show enough leadership. He never said he don't want Peter, but he said, let me tell you something. If the party elect him, I'm going to decide whether I want to go on the platform or stay away. But I will never attack the new National Party, which is good. Neither will I attack the leader who they elect. That is confirming what you said. I don't believe Dr. Mitchell will do anything to hurt the new National Party. I feel they like it too much. So I don't believe what the narrative people spreading that he will bat down the wicket or kick down the party foot. I don't believe that. And we expect, as what you said, we expect better from our leaders. We expect them to lead by example. And people will, show respect for them. You have to believe and trust your leaders with the truth. And I feel
You must agree it is good political strategy in the NDC to attack Dr. Mitchell.
Of course, yes.
It is good political strategy for the NDC to put up a narrative that have the NNP preoccupied and discussing. I have always challenged individuals on policy, philosophy, strategy, and history. When you come and tell me KB doing good, I say what happened? KB passed you on the road and you don't get a ride. You see? And most of the individuals who attack Dr. Mitchell, they are not attacking him on policy.
Never.
They are not attacking him on philosophy. They are not attacking him on strategy. And they cannot attack him on history. Even the projects that fail, that they attack him on, the projects was not targeting NNP but Grenada. The projects was developmental projects. If the project succeeded, it would bring jobs to the country. And any businessman would tell you that they have made decision that didn't work, or they had business venture. And I always dare and take on people and say, what is your issue with Dr. Mitchell? And they gone in a haywire. One individual say he has not served the country well and he has not served the party well. But the individual put a qualifier. He said no Caribbean leader has done well. Well, you see, but we must do comparison and comparability. When I speak about Grenada, I speak about Grenada in glowing terms. Because it said electricity, telephone, water, and internet. We second to none. We comparable with the best. And we better than most.
Road network.
We have a 90% reach. We have one of the best network of roads in the Caribbean. And the road quality is good. I don't complain much about road. The amount of four-wheel drive vehicles we have, and government provide 100% concession on, and I think that started after the revolution. 100% concession on vehicles. So most farmers you see with vehicles, but what they give you four-wheel drive for good road,
With the
four-wheel
mountain?
drive is for bad road
With the mountain?
and off-road and going to mountain. So if you buy vehicle, you don't want vehicle scratch. Our teacher to children ratio in Grenada is about 50 to 20%. 58,000 vehicles and 40-something thousand land owners. That is the country we have. And that is as a result of our politicians who carry the baton. All of them carry the baton. Obviously, Kit Mitchell is a sprinter and a long distance runner. He's the
Complete
best.
athlete.
In addition to that, he's the only leader in the Commonwealth that have won election on 3 occasions and win all the seats. So, yes, you don't expect the opposition to pet Dr. Mitchell. They're supposed to go after him as if no tomorrow. If I was an NDC, I'd go after him. But the NNP members must know what they have, what they're dealing with. And that is the question we must ask. What we expect from our leaders. And when you go to a seasoned warrior and you're asking him, you must hear him speaking on philosophy, the policy of the party,
Policy.
Yeah.
the inclusiveness
Yeah.
of the party. Not whether the man pass and don't give you a ride, I vex with you, I ball in your head. This is
A
really
discussion of age ought not to be in that country.
Well, if you find age and the man between, Mr. Blaze said, is he not running? Is the country running? He's not
Yeah.
athlete.
Yeah.
So a question of age, the Ralph Gonzal, and I tend to like Ralph. I like Ralph combative spirit.
And he reinventing himself. every
Yes,
time.
and I developed a bigger love for Ralph Gonzal during the volcano. When I see him walking around with ash all around him.
Yes.
And Ralph Gonzal went to Taiwan. When China decided Ralph Gonzal go to Taiwan, I think even the Taiwanese minister was pleased. This kind of combative spirit, fight, and all is about the people. You know?
You almost get the airport single-handedly.
Yes. He even had to deal with Iran
Yes.
on the airport. You know, the policy, and that has to be our discussion in Grenada. The party's policy, the party's philosophy, the party's inclusiveness, and the politician that's speaking, and I believe politicians must speak. I don't like politicians to retire. Doctor don't retire.
I agree.
Liars don't retire. Sometimes you fade out from frontline politics, but you must speak on issues that transcend party politics. You know?
I agree.
I believe that that's...
Yeah, we expect Uncle Tilo to continue
I want Uncle Tilly a view.
views.
Franca Bernardine must express a view. She seemed too strong on education.
Yes.
Express your view on education.
About its present economic situation.
Yes, Kenny Larson is a businessman.
Express views about the situation in
And
business.
he has been, and one of the things I admire about Kenny Larson doesn't seem to be a bitter person.
No.
He come out in jail. You never hear him saying what they're doing. And he in business, and he expanding, and his interaction with the rest of the public. Chester Humphrey, you want to hear Chester Humphrey on issues dealing with labor and labor issues. Because this is a resource personnel that we have wasting there. You know?
Institution.
You know, you want to hear them. Mr. Boson spent a lot of time in finance, dealt with institution outside. You want to hear them on policy, on strategy, on philosophy.
Like Mr. Boson, for example, he been around since the revolution.
Yeah, in Tonglong.
Yeah.
In Tonglong. They were little revolutionaries too. So if we're going to build this country, we have to challenge our leaders.
It takes all to build the country, and as you say, challenge our leaders.
I agree with you. Mr. Pierre, I damaged my eye. I went to the clinic. And I satisfied with the doctor, the treatment I get from the doctor, and so on. and the kind of equipment they had, I will satisfy. But I wonder why I have to stand outside in the sun for hours before I get attendant. And after I get the attendant, I have to purchase the medication for over $400. Now, I'll tell you, I don't mind paying into a fund that later on down the road, when I get sick, I'm a contributor to that fund. I can access money to buy my medication. So whether it's NNP or NDC, National Health Insurance should be on the front burner. And all of us should contribute to it. Because what happened if I didn't have that $400 to buy the medication?
Well, you might have to go and take some
What happened?
pepper leaf and put over your eye. You have to take a yard full eggs and put the white in your eyes. Is that what people used to do, you know? Take a yard full eggs and put the white in the eggs, particularly if it's the first egg the hen lay. And when you have asthma, drink, what do you used to drink for asthma? Lizard blood, warm water, we drop some lizard blood,
Cutlet leaf.
a cutlet leaf. And when you have sugar, mango leaf.
Yes.
And if you don't think you're dead,
Throat problem, damsel leaf.
damsel leaf. And again, you burn kerosene for trophy, etc. That is
When
what.
you are Eric, I
Yeah.
could testify to that. The other one time I had Eric and my grandmother used this burn kerosene
Yeah.
and put in my ears, and the next morning all the wax.
Burn kerosene
Yeah.
and etc. And it's a pity that we abandoned the old, the traditional medicine. We didn't take it and let the scientists analyze it to see what was in it. But that's the reality.
And we didn't too keen to find out why. I will tell you this. No. When we growing up, my grandmother used to always give me citrus, peel. Anytime you peel orange and thing, you hang it up.
To hang it up.
Yours. And she used to give us that all the time. But I never knew why. But after you grow up and you do more research and things, they say the citrus peel en masse cancer cells and other cells in the bloodstream so that the white blood cells could deal with it. And then we never follow up. I want to make a point, Mr. Peck. You just had the program with the gentleman on agriculture. And we're talking about policies. And sometimes you get the impression that governments go and governments come and they do really have a policy for agriculture. Agriculture is only mentioned lip service when an election is around or some symposium comes up, and after the symposium or the election pass agriculture and all the plans or policies, because a policy for agriculture ought not to be changed when a government change. If that is a policy, a foolproof policy in agriculture, and like you always say, Mr. P, and I buy into that a long time now. In terms of, we just talk about employment and young people, and some don't say who trying to make young people dependent in reference to the IMANIs. Now there's a lot of things like a policy, like you always mention beekeeping. I speak about CMOS production and other things, and that ought to be a policy. So when the 3,000 or plus persons would leave school, you have something or some think tank or some training, because it's a policy of government to make people into entrepreneurs. So the question about government or doing nothing for people ought not to be an argument. Government has to cultivate the avenue, maybe the ambassadors and so on in certain countries should be the ones seeking markets. So it should be something, a policy, a blueprint, and not necessarily something you speak only around election time. Healthcare. When an election comes, every side blames the other side. But what is the policy on health? What is the policy going forward? Because too often, I believe when you talk about expectations, too often we take people for granted and seems to only say what they want to hear or say, but we don't really mean it because the action does be different. So in terms of expectations, what is the expectation one has to find out? And I just say the senior leaders or senior persons are to understand, and it go be coming from them, it go be more organic and authentic as to what the policy, because the policy of a country ought not to be only aligned with color. It's for the people, because as Abraham Lincoln said, it's of, for, and by the people. What is the expectations of the people to the policies? That is an important competence. And how does the expectation of the people align with the policy? So some level of discussion, and not only one of town hall meeting and thing for likes and so on. It has to be meaningful, because too often we find those things happen, budget consultation, and in truth and fact the budget may be already written before the consultation is held. So what is the policy in terms of the economy? Because now there's this thing about the CBI, and I must make a disclaimer, I am not against the CBI, Mr. Pitt. But what is the expectation of the public to CBI? What does the public know about CBI? Because you're hearing on one hand a lot of money making in the CBI. Then you're hearing persons talking about some offshore bank in Dubai. Then we know the Prime Minister is going to Dubai often. So is it for us to assume he's going to look after his interests? Who are the beneficial owners? Because you don't have a policy. Because when certain people in opposition, they say the CBI no good, selling fish cake, selling passport, everybody against it. And when the government change, all who condemns the CBI becomes part of it. So that means there is not a policy.
And that is why perhaps the topic is relevant. Because you would have liked to hear some individuals, particularly in the financial realm, talking about CBI program.
Yes.
Now, if you have an opportunity to be interviewed, and you cussing a man, you're going after personalities. I don't like this man no good, this man get old, this man stupid. Rather than dealing with the policies, rather than dealing with the financial realities.
Because the policy,
a good opportunity to talk about CBI program. Because this seems to be the biggest money owner in the country.
And
particularly
and the
when the government budget is so heavily dependent
on CBI.
What is the ramification if it fails? Do you expect to sell 5 million passports? Because in the next, at that rate, if we're selling passports for 10 years, we will sell about a couple million. Have anybody
because if you quoting
envisage
if you quoting
selling 10 million Grenadians when we have 100,000 people?
because Mr. Pierre, if you're quoting that over 5,000 passports has been sold since the commencement of this administration, in 10 years' time, that's 50,000 passports.
But
So the population, and when somebody become a passport holder,
with the family.
like that, he becomes a citizen.
Them and the family.
Them and the family. You know.
Remember, Iran have 86 million people. You know. So let us suppose we have 2 million Iranians, one passport. Israel and the Middle East in war, people that fight from, they're likely to end up in war.
Yeah.
Guyana and Venezuela likely to fight. So if we are selling passport, and I'm not against selling passport.
I'm not against it.
And when the passport issues from day one, I say I do against it. But the speed we pick up, and particularly that is the biggest income generator. So it seems to be abandoning agriculture, dropped by 6%.
But then again, it comes back again, Mr. Pierre, to what is the policy? What is the expectation of all of us?
So I would have liked to hear
the money. Where we
I would have liked to hear some of the seasoned politicians.
Yes, what we do.
Particularly those who don't intend to contest again.
Yeah.
Speak on these issues. Remember the number to call is 410-3030.
Because if we know the policy, and policy is so important, and I'll make this point, This present administration came into power on the mantra of transformation. Up to till these days, 702 days, I think. Wednesday was 699, Thursday was 700, Friday was 701. So 702 days now, this administration in power. And we yet to hear the policy on transformation. And because they don't give the policy on transformation, it leaves people like me and you to speculate.
But the Prime Minister correct that. He say we campaign on a policy of transformation.
But the Prime Minister...
But it is not so much transformation. It is restorative justice.
Yes, I agree. But he went in too big to say that. He didn't say that here.
Well, make it worse in an alien land.
No, and because they believe that too much of people wouldn't hear it. That is the issue. Like, for instance, the policy of this government again. The Samoa Agreement came up. The foreign minister and the prime minister lied to the public. But the foreign minister went on a party program to try to fix it.
Joke.
Knowing very well the nation as a whole, the 20,000 people who didn't vote, and the 28,000 people, like 48,000 people, might not hear. So then what is the policy? Up until now, we don't know the policy as it relates to the Samoa Agreement. We don't know here and there. We don't know if they might just come and then in days of Holy Passover, if we might have to put some blood over we do post in the night for we not to dead. We don't know.
But KB, this one is not a joke, because this one is all about your independence. We had, in 1967, we had statehood. Yeah. We was responsible for our local government, etc. But after independence, we had the authority for our foreign policy. Yeah. That is why we was able to join the OAS, United Nations, overthrow the country without the British coming in, because they say you're big now, you could make your own decision. Now, this agreement, practically the government, I asked the question repeatedly, who is directing our foreign policy? I have not heard the Bar Association. And when we're talking about we leaders, the lawyers in our country is our best legal minds. And when they come together as an organization, they command serious respect in the country.
You should have clout.
And if your country foreign affairs seems to be dictated by another entity, a third entity, then these leaders must, you expect them to say something?
Yeah. A case in point, Mr. Pierre. I think on the 4th and 5th of June, there might be this debate in Parliament as to amending the Firearm Act to force or to coerce magistrates not to give bail to people held with a fire. This has constitutional
repercussions. Yeah.
And the Bar Association ought to be one of the bodies in this country that should guide in and speak.
One of the authorities.
Yeah.
Because to coerce or to force a magistrate not to give bail cannot coerce or force a judge not to do the same. So you could just wait out and just go to the judge.
Unless the lawyers believe more money for them. When they lock up all these young people, they have to go to them.
I think you have to pay them more money to approach the judge.
In the revolution, the magistrate give you bail. The PRA could take you.
Yeah.
The magistrate could let you off, but the PRA could put you lost yourself. What you lost that right. you know, for bail. I believe they right now in this modern day and age, you know, they're going to take that right from us.
And an individual could be caught with a gun, and the poor individual don't know. You could be a 16, 17, it could be a woman, it could be a sick person, it could be an elderly person that perhaps let's take a brutal case.
Let me tell you
A
what
son slipped the gun by the old man because he realized daddy go dead just now, it's better he go in jail, and then you can't give him bail.
what happened the other day. Senior citizen was in the middle seat. Young man was in the back. End up in a police
Real.
raid, you know. Take the gun, push in the lily bag. You understand? So she unaware, they search the bag. They say, who this bag belonging to? The lady say, that's my bag. Unaware, the young man placed the gun in the lady bag. They arrest the lady. She innocent. Are you going to deny her bail?
Well, based upon the law.
Habeas corpus. Deny that.
But simply this Mr. Pierre is a guy who is a kind man, he like to give people ride. They meet a police bag, the man like go iron dog in Mr. Pierre van.
Well, no bill for me. You say you done radio talking, no bill.
And it come
But
back
the
to
Bar Association, as an organization, I'm not talking about individual lawyers, the Bar Association, you should hear the voice on these things.
See, when we suspend the revolution, when we suspend the constitution, we rule by decree.
Yeah.
You
For
understand?
commission.
By decree. You know, even though the magistrate let you off,
that don't say nothing.
no, we have the right to say, hey, that man is a threat to national security. Even coming up with no evidence at all. Arrest the man and put it back in jail.
Okay,
Depends on our own discretion.
what I like about you, the court let you go and they say, no, you have to go back
Yeah,
in
but
jail.
my case, I think I was charged. You know, after 1 year I was charged. And the case, the PI took another year. That's 2 years in front of Justice St. Paul.
Yeah.
And after I win my case, they said, nah, KB, you're going back in jail. It doesn't make
So you
sense.
win the case and you still go
Well,
back in jail.
I listened to a case in the court in Grenville
Yeah.
where I think it was Lawrence Joseph.
Yeah.
That was the law. And he tell the guy, go on, he's a free man.
Yes.
And the PRS put the handcuff on him. And he said, the magistrate said he's a free man.
Yeah.
And he making nice in the court,
Yeah.
he's a free man.
Yeah.
The guy said the magistrate could say what he wants, you know. But we don't know that.
3 of them,
And they went with him.
Ronald Lewis from Tivoli, Adrian Roberts, and Glenn Beggs. Larry tell them they're free. They could go.
Yeah.
And the magistrate, the PRA handcuffed them in front of Larry.
And go with him.
And bring them in jail. They say, no, Larry,
No,
don't
what
say
Larry
that.
know about that?
It's what we say.
If Larry sneeze, they go to Larry
They
too.
go Larry too. So the point is that you have to be careful when you're under pressure and you want to force some kind of law down people's throat. Yes, we're concerned about the crime, the crime rate in this country. All of us concerned about it. But you have to be careful. You can't just say, well, let's hang anybody who you catch with a gun.
And that is where
You
you
can
expect
fix
your
one wrong with
lawyers.
the other. You can fix one wrong with the other wrong.
And that's where you expect your legal mind, your leaders.
You
Their
leaders, not
leaders.
even, and that's where
start
politicians,
to discuss
senior
this
politicians
issue.
who
Get support.
retire, come out and say,
And
give their
speak
views.
around.
The business community, say something. Leaders in the community, the
And
pastors.
sometimes the politician would be guided
Exactly.
by these
What do you mean?
reputable individuals saying, no, this is immoral, this is not correct, this is ultra-virus the Constitution. But it's quiet.
Another thing again, we speak on expectations again, because that is what we're trying to fix. And policy. Everyone understands, and this is not a political thing, cost of living is sky high. As Mr. Pay already referred, the economy is in free fall because all the indicators are showing that the economy is not doing well. Small man, the ordinary man balling. And not only NNP you are balling. NDC people crying, KBB does meet them every day.
Yeah.
Small businesses telling you what, we don't know how we're going to make it. Some businesses are advising their workers, well, half work this week and half work next week. So the indicators as to the economy is not good. But what is the policy of the government to help? Now, we could say the policy of the last government, although this present administration also call it handout, even as much as the whole 150 with the seed, was as a result to cushion the effect of cost of living. So you could also say that was the policy of the government then. But what is the policy now? And what is the expectation of the people, Mr. Pierre?
To cushion the effect.
You being a businessman, give me a little thing on it.
But the government don't have no policy. The businessman have to watch his business close and either depend. A number of factors could take place. You could try to offer a wider range of products because if you getting $20 a week from the people who come inside, you could say, well, let me offer a wider range of products that they maybe have to get $25 for them. But that is if you have the cash to put in. If you depend on the business, then obviously you might want to lengthen your hours. Well, you know, or you may want to cut your staff to see what's going on. Maybe if you have 10 workers, you may say, let me push them to do 5. And whether no matter what the law say, the 5 workers might work the extra hours because they recognize the alternative is to drop. Then you could, this is the reality. Then more people unemployed, more social problems have, more pre-their larceny, more stealing of sheep and cow and goat. That one want to grab it faster. You will see more young boys ending up in gambling because pressure on their home to get the money. So they go into to gambling. More social decadence, more individuals going for weed. And no matter what law you pass, the human being would not starve. If their survival is threatened, they lose the moral code of ethics.
Yeah, man.
It's as simple as that. And this is why we see, what do we expect from his senior politicians?
Give guidance and help formulate policies.
Just discuss the idea.
And you're right. We feel the Bar Association should play a pivotal role.
Of course.
Because point to note, laws must never be formulated to punish,
No.
but to act as a deterrent. Anytime you start to make laws to punish people, they excess. So this bail thing, just unilaterally, is not meant to deter people, but it is meant as a punishment, which ought not to be.
But even in some of the big prisons in the world, and we could say in South America, or any prison, they give incentives for people on death row to behave good.
Yes.
Because if a man loses hope and dignity, turn an animal.
Yeah.
The same young man, 16, 17 years, that in jail 3 years waiting for bail. What you might have coming out is a madman, a murderer or something. And already there are reports that there are a number of people in prison that perhaps should not be there because there are more mental cases. And when you see the amount of vagrancy now and mentally challenged young people in Grenada, it is time for concern. And it's time for all leaders to speak. All leaders that not directly involved in politics, your constituency would not be affected if you open your mouth and speak. And then you claim you're neutral. The Bar Association, I think, is one of the oldest organizations in our country. Our best legal minds. They have never intervened to address any issue. I don't know them involved in any charitable organization.
What's about the church, the Council of Church?
Well, a lot of people go after the church. And they say the church has been involved in a lot of developmental organization and group and schools and charity and etc. And if you are a regular church goer, every day telling you to keep yourself quiet, be honest, love your neighbor as yourself. So within the church fold, you might hear that. But not all pastors are not as strong enough to speak with authority. They have become partisan. And that is what people have to be careful of. If you're speaking on policies, you tend to be consistent.
Yeah.
A man may not agree with you,
Yeah.
but he's going to respect you.
Yeah.
But if when you're done, you jump on individuals and attacking individuals without advancing reason, justification, rationale, people say, well, you're just going after color.
I so admire, have respect for Miss Sandra Ferguson at one time. I used to say, yes, they are independent mind, but it seems as though they
I'm not
deviate,
hearing no
they
perhaps you're not
deviate
well
from
or
the
something.
correct path and they all get silent.
I'm not hearing and I've not seen her in a long time. So sometime it could be that maybe she's not well.
Maybe she moral compass boss.
Or she moral compass was.
Yeah, what they
But
used to
I believe
stand up.
you have to be she not well. Because she was a strong voice
Yeah.
and on certain issues.
Yeah, man.
So whether it's not a question whether you're wrong or you're right, it's your consistency
They're speaking on.
and you're speaking on policy. You have this now the attitude of a government. I don't even believe the government fully understand what they're doing.
Do you know the amount of money they collect already for one of them boasts for me? To me, and they say, KB, the government collect about $1 billion.
Yes, yeah.
If you collect $1 billion, how is that economy so bad? How is that the unemployment situation like that? The crime situation is out of control. You collect $1 billion. What happened to the money? Where the money
they
is
could
spending?
collect the money. But remember, we increase every day in the amount of vehicles that come in the country. So although the economy might be bad, government is collecting money. And the government is not filtering down the money. The policy of the government tend to be hostile against low-income group. But in my discourse with a lot of individuals, they claim that these people, the previous government was making them lazy. And the previous government was giving them handout. So they seem to want to punish these people
It's
for
all about
what
punishment.
the previous government done.
What about the multiplying effect?
Well, I don't think they're thinking about that. They say let it start. They want to punish them.
When there is money in the society, the shopkeeper make money. The bus drivers make money. Everybody store make money. The vendors in the market make money. The fishermen make money. Everybody makes
But
money.
the government have money.
The government have
and
money, but the people must spend. Must be
The government is
listen. You must make the money available for the people to spend the money.
that's the challenge. How does the money filter down?
Trickle
They
down.
don't see the rippling effect of a buoyant economy. And because they're not inclusive, you see, the NDC have a track record historically. They're not an inclusive group. And they believe that we have paid the pension, so we satisfy the teachers. We satisfy the public officers. We raise this. We give a tax break to tax-paying people.
That's about the bottom half.
So, but they don't see the people who making under $3,000, the destitute poor, the one making $1,000. The women, the majority of our household are led by women. So we have a number of instances where a woman have 3-4 children, and she don't have a steady man.
And she might be single.
And she may not be, well, she has 3-4 children, 60% of her household are led by women. She have man, but she don't have a steady man. That is the correct word. She don't have a man that own up. She have a man that visits her like a tourist. So this government doesn't see that button. Look at the humanis. And what the government has done is to attack the people mentally, because they promise them. They build up a high, they promise them, they deny them, and now they're threatening them. So some of them are very quiet. But the government has gone after them mentally.
Remember the last government, Mr. Pierre, just by simple having the debushing program, every fortnight around $6 million used to be circulating
In the car.
around the lower, what do you call them?
The lower echelon, the lower group, the lower socioeconomic strata.
Yeah, that it was.
The people
So,
brought on
since
destitute
this
poverty.
government comes in KB, this $6 million has been taken away. And what has happened when persons of that lower socio-economic group receive the money? no one first inclination is to go and put it in the bank.
No.
The first inclination is to supply their needs.
Their needs.
And wants. So that money is to circulate. So the boss man make, the fisherman make,
The vendors in the
the
market.
barber make everybody want to look fresh, the nail tech, the hairdressers, everybody used to get a bite from the thing. Now we don't have that.
But
Time
also,
run
but
fast.
government get tax out of it too.
Time run fast when we're on this program.
Yes.
We have 5 minutes more on this program. Time really run fast, and we KB and Master Color give you
what
the
you wanna
last
say?
out it. 5 more minutes on that
Yes.
program.
Again, I want to say thank you, Mr. Pierre, for having us, and it's very, I'm very happy to be here, and it's very educational. Whenever you're in conversation with Mr. Pierre and Master Carl, you learn something, and I know the listeners, of this program, based on the report, they're very, very appreciative. And Saturday we'll be back here again.
Because one of the policies of the last government was to release $6 million every fortnight in the economy of the country. So you could have seen things happening or things for people. And added to that, there were other social safety net programs. So that is why I always ask, what is the expectations of the public? Because we need to know what the policies. Because and I agree, a lot of times we even as persons, or you put it as how you call them, the last week you give them a nice name, man. Those people who might be in party groups and
The politicos?
the
Political activists.
Sometimes even the politicos don't understand.
They don't have a clue.
The issue now is to speak to policies and not to quarrel with people. So you respect a man's point of view. You don't necessarily have to agree, but you need to point out what is the policies of this government. Because a gentleman told me this morning, KB, he said, Master Kala does listen. And he said, in 2008, one of the first things they do was to chase CCC and 400 people lose their work. The next thing they did, already promised in the same elderly people thing. So it's a policy of this government not to look out for the small people. And that is something we are to speak to.
Gentlemen, we want to thank you for being on the Studio Galaxy, and we are the Galaxy Equalizers, and we encourage people to share our program. We are the new kids on the block, and we want you to share our program and subscribe to it. And as we go on, we become more efficient, and we want you to call us and participate and dare us and challenge us. We prepare to discuss issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm running for my life. I'm running away. I'm running from bad mind and jealousy. Oh Lord, I'm running away. I'm running so far away. I wanna be alone. My heart is aching me. I wanna be alone. Bad mind, I'm begging, please. I wanna be alone. I'm fighting on my knees. Fighting on my knees. All alone. All alone. I wanna be alone. Them envy and greedy. I'm staying away completely. Them only call me when them need me. That's why as long as I'm breathing, I wanna be alone. My heart is aching me. I wanna be alone. Bad mind, I'm begging, please. I wanna be alone. I'm fighting on my knees. Fighting